welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching. So today we are going to be doing a first impression video on the new Urban Decay All-Nighter Foundation. So you guys, I am super excited about this. We are going to do a demo, and I'm also going to check back throughout the day and show you guys how it's wearing. So if you want to see all about the Urban Decay foundation, please keep watching. Okay guys, so to start off with this foundation, it comes in a beautiful gunmetal packaging. It says Urban Decay All-Nighter Liquid Foundation, and then it claims to be full coverage, long wear, matte finish, waterproof, and oil-free, and it has 1 fluid ounce and retails for exactly $40. So there's a lot of claims this foundation makes, as it is following up the All-Nighter Setting Spray, which is like a cult favorite of the makeup world. So I'm going to read what this foundation claims to do. It says it's an ultimate foundation for a flawless looking complexion. It's waterproof and provides complete coverage that lasts all day or night with a modern matte finish that never looks overdone. So never looks overdone to me is saying like never looks cakey. Overdone being like too much. I'm interpreting that too cakey. It says achieve a blown out effect you never thought possible for skin that looks amazing and stays that way. We loaded this full coverage foundation with such an insane amount of pigment that a little goes a long way. There is no need to build your coverage or apply multiple layers. That is a huge claim for me, because as I can get an even layer like throughout pretty much like the center of my face, I always have like breakouts and a lot of redness on the edges that I always have to go back over and apply a second later. So I am definitely going to test that out. So a little about this also. The packaging is gorgeous. It looks very similar to the Naked Skin packaging, but the Naked Skin just doesn't have this graphic lining right here. Also, you can see your shade through the bottle. That's really nice. I did get shade 3.0, which claims to be light skin with a soft, warm undertone. They do, sorry if you guys can hear that, I have Mariah right by my side and she has a little elephant toy. But the shade selection is huge. I just looked on Sephora and they go from like 3.0 to 3.25 to 3.524. So I think you can definitely find your skin shade. But we're just gonna get started with this. I'm going to do half my face with a beauty blender and half my face with a brush so we can see any difference. And yeah, let's just get going. So we're gonna shake it. Okay, so just a little background on my skin. I have oily skin, I moisturized and I exfoliated this morning, so there should be no dry spots and no clinging. So like I usually do, I am going to set this up for success, which is why I do exfoliate and why I do moisturize. I am not going to use a primer today though, because a lot of reviews said that this is super good for like blurring out your pores, so we are going to put that to the test also. They said 1 pump is enough, so I'm going to do 1 pump on my hand and dab and apply with a beauty blender and then swirl in this side with a brush. 1 pump. It has a really creamy formula. You can see right there, it looks like it's watery, but it's really like not at all. But I will say it's not as creamy and thick as the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. So we're just going to take a beauty blender and I'm going to apply that to my right side. This is just 1 pump and it doesn't look like enough, so we're just gonna see. You guys, that looks pretty good, honestly. It's covering really well and it's really smooth. And then we're gonna take my Cover FX brush and we're gonna blend over here. It does set like fairly fast, so I'm gonna work quickly. Also, just a heads up, I usually never apply brushes with foundation with brushes because I can never get a flawless finish. So if I don't have a flawless finish, I'm really not blaming the foundation. I just hate applying with brushes. But for the sake of a first impressions, I wanted to try both. Okay, so as you can see, I barely got any coverage using a brush. Like, it just really thinned out the foundation, and the side using the beauty blender, it looks a lot better. So we're gonna go in with a little more, probably about like a half pump, and use the beauty blender again. This shade is actually working really well for me, but I do notice a few things about the foundation, not necessarily bad things. It is a really dry foundation, and I can easily see if you have any dry patches or dry skin how this will cling to anything, because luckily I exfoliated, but I can imagine if you don't regularly exfoliate, this is going to be a mess on your skin, because it is like, that's how I feel right now. It does not feel tight. It feels very comfortable. It doesn't feel heavy at all, which is something I really like so far. And it does feel a lot lighter than the Estee Lauder Double Wear and the Marc Jacobs Remarkable Foundation. Those, when you put them on, you can feel the mask you just applied. This feels a lot lighter and provided good coverage. As you can see, it is completely matte. There is no sheen whatsoever. I do notice that my pores are looking quite enlarged, so I definitely do have to use a primer to fix that issue, but that's more of a personal problem. But honestly, I think it looks really good. And it looks matte, but it doesn't look unnatural matte. It just looks like I have no oil buildup, but it actually looks like my skin in like a matte way. As you can see, like, I still have a lot of like blemishes showing through down here, and you can still see blemishes on my face. So for full coverage, I kind of expected more, but it's definitely not something that I wouldn't work with. And while it says no layers are needed, I guess that's someone for like perfect skin. If you don't have perfect skin, like me, you will have to layer some of your areas. So, okay, so I'm gonna zoom you guys in so you can really see what it looks like on my skin. Okay, so I'm actually pretty satisfied with this coverage. Of course, you can apply more to get it even more full coverage, but I'm okay with just a little bit showing through. I just didn't want my scabs and like everything showing, you know. So we're gonna keep it like this, and I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my foundation, and then I will be back. I applied my usual concealer, and I feel like because the base was so dry, this concealer went on and it's just like dry too. Like, I feel like if I put any powder on, it's gonna be like too much. Like, everything feels just like extremely matte. Okay, you guys, so it's around 12 o'clock, and this is what it looks like right now. I really wish I would have primed my face properly with a primer, because I feel like this foundation and kind of like the dryness of it just really enhances my pores. Besides that, it looks really good. Yeah, I really like it so far. It hasn't oxidized too much on me. It's kind of just like sunk into my skin tone, and I felt like when I first applied the base that it was definitely going to be one of those foundations that look better throughout the day once it's really sunk into your skin and mixed with the heat of your body, that it was just going to become one. And so far, that's what it's done. Right now, thumbs up. I really like it. Oh, also, let me zoom you guys in so you guys can see what's up and how everything is looking. I did set my under eyes with a powder, even though I said powder might be weird. I did set my face with a powder. I really enjoy it so far. Hey you guys, so I thought I would come back on here and give you guys a little bit of an update. It is around 2:35 now, and this is what we're looking at. So it looks pretty darn good, you guys. You can still see that like I'm a little bit oily. Sorry, I'm like getting settled in my leather chair. I am a little bit oily, but it's nothing horrible. It's one of those foundations that is actually starting to look better the more it just like sets in with your skin, and it's kind of oxidized a little bit, but nothing as bad as I was thinking. People said that it would get like 3 to 4 shades darker, and it's really not. But yeah, this is it right here. I'm getting a little bit oily on my forehead area, a little bit on the sides of my nose, but not nearly as bad as some other foundations. But totally, like, I super like it. Like, I really like it. I think it looks really good. So I will give you another update in a couple of hours. Okay, you guys, so it's time for another update. It's around 5:30 now. Let me sit and look at myself. Okay, so I will say the foundation gets darker, but it's definitely nothing that you cannot handle or that's gonna look like crazy. I think it matches my body pretty well still. I'm just gonna say it right now. I love it. It's only been like 6 hours, but this is like the best my face has looked. I feel like even when the oil comes through, it can still be like maintain like a dewy level. Like I can have a little bit of oil right here and right there, but everything else is still like super intact and really nice. And I feel like the best thing about this so far is that it doesn't feel heavy. Usually like when I wear a foundation too long, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to wash my face. This one still feels like really light, and I'm not minding keeping it on this long. So we are gonna keep going until the sun goes down so I can give you guys as much as a thorough review as possible. But right now, still love it. Okay, you guys, I am back. It's around 6 o'clock and I am here to give you my final thoughts on this foundation. Just bottom line up front, I really like it. There are a few caveats to that. If you have dry skin or combination skin, you are going to have to use maybe like oil in your foundation or a dewy setting spray, something to make this foundation look like healthy on your skin, or else I can just imagine it like really cling to everything straight away. That being said, this foundation is extremely comfortable and light to wear. Usually, like I said before, with my Estee Lauder Double Wear or my Marc Jacobs foundation, by the end of the day, I just cannot wait to wash them off. This one, I feel like I can go for like more hours. I feel like it's very comfortable. It is not just like, it just doesn't feel gross. That being said, you do need to use a primer. I did feel like my pores were enhanced definitely in the beginning when it just was super matte on. I just feel like my pores were just like boom, and it does dry super fast, but I think that is fairly normal with a completely matte foundation like this one. The color does get a little bit darker, but it doesn't get dark enough where I think it's a deal breaker in any way. So far, I really like it. I think if I just like blotted throughout the day, which I didn't because I wanted to give you guys a thorough review, I have not touched my face in any way since 10:30 this morning when I initially applied this foundation. So it's going on 8 hours, and this is the only breakthrough. If you have watched my other first impressions, you know, like the Makeup Forever Stick foundation, I was an oily beast by the end of the day, and this is like in August. So for it to be this like wearable and like a little bit glowy in August, I think it's awesome. So yeah, I would recommend this foundation for anyone with oily skin. I really hope you guys enjoyed this first impression. I am really happy with this product. I did not think that I was going to love it as much as I did, just because I heard so many people bashing it. I really like it. I think if you are a true oily skin girl, you will do nothing but benefit from this foundation. But yeah, that really completes my review. Please let me know if you guys like it or if you are considering picking it up. And yeah, I hope this was helpful. So I will see you in my next video. Bye.